Good morning. Pastor Michelle here with your morning devotional. We continue reading in Jeremiah, and we're getting closer and closer to the conclusion of this book. This morning, though, we start in chapter 47. The Lord's word to the prophet Jeremiah concerning the Philistines before Pharaoh conquered Gaza. The Lord proclaims, "Waters are rising from the north and turning into a raging flood. They will engulf the land and everything in it, the towns and those living in them. The people cry out, all who live there scream. At the pounding of the stallion's hooves, at the defending roar of the chariot's wheels, parents abandon children, so paralyzed are they with fear. Because the time is coming for the Philistines' destruction, for cutting off from Tyre and Sidon anyone who might try to save Gaza, because the Lord will destroy the Philistines, the few left in the land of Kaphator. Mourning will come upon Gaza, silence will cover Ashkelon. The few left in the valley, how long will you gash yourselves in grief, you sword of the Lord? How long until you are silent? Return to your sheath, rest and be still. How can you be silent when the Lord has directed you to attack Ashkelon and the coastline? Concerning Moab, the Lord of heavenly forces, the God of Israel, proclaims, how awful for Nebo it lies in ruins. Kirathaim is captured and shamed. The fortress is disgraced, reduced to rubble. No one sings Moab's praises any longer. In Heshbon they are hatching a plot against her. Come, let's bring down the nation. You too, madmen, will be silenced. The sword will pursue you. Listen to the cries for help for Horonaim. Destruction and massive devastation. Moab is shattered. Its young cry for help. On the way to Luthith, there is uncontrollable weeping. On the way down to Horonaim, you hear sobs of anguish. Run for your lives. Be like Aroer in the desert, because you have relied on your own strength and treasures. You also will be captured. Chemosh will go into exile, together with his priests and officials. The destroyer will sweep through every town. No town will escape. The valleys will be ravaged. The plateaus will be destroyed, because the Lord has declared it so. Give wings to Moab, and it will fly away, because its towns lie in ruins with no one left in them. Cursed is the one who is half-hearted, is doing the Lord's work. Cursed is the one who restrains the sword from bloodshed. From early on, Moab has been at ease, like wine, left to settle on its sediment. It hasn't been poured into jars, nor has Moab been taken into exile. Therefore, its taste is still pleasant. Its aroma is the same. But the time is coming, declares the Lord, when I will send to him someone to spill it, to pour out his wine, and to smash his jars. And Moab will put to shame on account of Chemosh, just as the people of Israel were put to shame on account of Bethel, in which we trusted. How can you claim we're soldiers, we're war heroes? Moab is doomed, its towns will surrender, its elite forces will go down in defeat, declares the King, whose name is the Lord of heavenly forces. Moab's destruction is near, its downfall approaches rapidly. Grief for this nation, your neighbors of Moab, all who know his name. Proclaim how its mighty scepter and magnificent staff are shattered. Come down from your lofty place and sit in the dust, you inhabitants of the daughter of Dibon, because Moab's destroyer has arrived to the level of your fortress. Stand by the roads and watch you inhabitants of Aroer. Ask the men who flee and the women who run off, what happened? Moab is shamed and shocked. Weep and wail. Tell it by the Arnon River. Moab's been destroyed. Judgment has come to the towns of the plateau, to Holon, Jazah, to Mephathith, to Dibon, Nebo, to Beth Diblatham, to Kiratham, Bethgulam, and Bethmon, to Kirath and Bozar, to all the towns of Moab, far and near. Moab's horn is cut off, its arm is broken, declares the Lord. Get Moab drunk, because it has exalted itself above the Lord. Moab will collapse in its vomit and become a butt of every joke. Wasn't Israel the butt of your jokes? Didn't you shake your head as if they were thieves caught in the act? Leave your towns, head for the cliffs, you people of Moab. Hide like a dove that nests in the mouth of the cave. You have heard of Moab's pride, arrogant, puffed up, exalted, high and mighty, boastful. I myself know about its arrogance, declares the Lord, the idle talk, the empty deeds. But I will still wail for Moab. I will cry out for all of Moab. I'll sob for the people of Kirhiz. I'll weep for you, vine of Shibmah, more than I would for Jezreel. Though your branches extended to the sea and reached to the coast of Jezreel, now the destroyer has come to harvest your grapes and summer fruits. Joy and gladness have been taken from the orchards and the farms of Moab. I have stopped making wine in the presses. No one shouts with joy while tending the grapes. Though there are shouts, they are not shouts of joy. Screams are heard from Heshbon to Elilah to Jezar. Their cries resound from Zor to Horaman to Egalath Sheshisha. Even the waters of Nimrim are dried up. I'll put an end to Moab, declares the Lord, for making offerings on the shrines and worshiping their gods. Therefore my heart wails for Moab, like a mournful flute that plays the degree. My heart wails for the people of Kirhiz, like a mournful flute. Their abundance is now gone. Every head is shaved, every beard is cut off, every hand is slashed, and everyone wears mourning clothes. On every housetop of Moab and in all the streets, there's nothing but mourning. I have shattered Moab like a pottery vessel no one wants, declares the Lord. How it's shattered, go wail. How Moab turns away, what shame. Moab has become the butt of every joke, horrific to all its neighbors. The Lord proclaims, look, one who soars like an eagle and spreads its wings over Moab. The towns will be captured, the strongholds will be seized. On the day, the heart of every soldier from Moab will be like that of a woman in the throes of labor. Moab will be destroyed once and for all because of it. It has exalted itself above the Lord. Terror, traps, and trackers are upon you, people of Moab, declares the Lord. Those who flee from terror, who will fall into the pit, those who will escape the pit will be captured by the trap. I will bring upon Moab the year of its punishment, declares the Lord. In Heshbon, tired refugees seek shelter, but fire is raging in Heshbon, fires from the house of Shinnah. It has burned up part of Moab, including the leader of this rebellious nation. How terrible for you, Moab! The people of Shemash have perished. Your sons have been carried off. Your daughters have been taken captive. But in the days to come, I will bring Moab from captivity, declares the Lord. Such is the judgment on Moab. So concludes our reading for today. The people in Jeremiah continue to not listen, continue to think that they are bigger and greater than God, that they don't need this God. And for that, punishment is brought upon them. I pray that as you hear these words this morning, that you remember that we always need God, that there's never a time in our lives where we don't need His presence in it. I pray that you ask for continued guidance, that you continue to stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.